Hi, I'm Vicki Smith, the Executive Director at United Way, and I'm going to read I Need a Hug for you. As the early morning sun rose over the zoo, the animals were waking up, all except for Boo, the bush baby. Like all bush babies, Boo slept in the daytime, so he was ready for bed. But where was Mommy? Boo couldn't sleep without his mommy's special bedtime hug. Boo looked everywhere, but Mommy was nowhere to be seen. So Boo went to see the lion. I need a hug, Boo said to the lion. Very gently, Lion lifted Boo up with one big paw and hugged him close. Thank you, Lion, sputtered Boo, with a mouthful of lion's mane, but your hug was too hairy. So Boo went to see the giraffe. I need a hug, Boo called up to the giraffe. The giraffe stopped and said, I can do that, and wrapped her long neck around Boo, and hugged and lifted him all the way up at once. Thank you, Giraffe, gulped Boo, looking down at the ground below, but your hug is too high. So Boo went to see the penguin. I need a hug, Boo said to the penguin. Penguin looked up from his breakfast, stretched out his flippers, and pulled Boo towards him. Thank you, Penguin, choked Boo, holding his nose, but that hug was too fishy. So Boo went to see Kangaroo. I need a hug, Boo shouted to Kangaroo as she bounced past. Without stopping, Kangaroo swept Boo off his feet and hugged him as she hopped on her way. Thank you, Kangaroo, Boo managed to say, in between each huge jump, but your hug is much too bouncy. Boo was tired, and he needed a bedtime hug more than ever. Perhaps Parrot could help. I need a hug, yelled Boo above Parrot's loud squawk. Parrot carried on squawking and spread his wings and hugged Boo to his feathery chest. Thank you, Parrot, yelled Boo, but your hug is way too noisy. Squawk, squawk. What about Polar Bear? Wondered Boo. I need a hug, said Boo, looking up into Polar Bear's friendly face. Ever so carefully, Polar Bear opened her arms and gathered Boo up into her soft white fur. Thank you, Polar Bear, yawned Boo, squinting, but the hug was way too bright. What was Boo to do? It was time for bed, and still there was no Mommy, and still no just right bedtime hug. Too wrinkly, too bumpy, too tight, too tickly, too big, too wet. I don't need a hug that's too hairy, too high, too fishy, too bouncy, too noisy, too bright, too wrinkly, too bumpy, or too tight, too tickly, too big, or too wet, whispered Boo to himself. I need a hug that's... Just then, Boo felt warm, familiar, comfy arms around him. That's just right, he shouted in delight. Sleep tight, Boo, said Mommy, as she gave him the cuddliest, snuggliest, just right bedtime hug in all the world. The end.